to Speed Scene Live, the #1 online drag racing TV show and the only show dedicated to the sportsman racer. Brought to you by Curry Rear Ends, M&H Tires, Hedman Hustler Headers, Aeromotive Fuel Systems, and TheFote.com. With your hosts, Diana Might, Bruce Barker, Scott Lucky Hudson, Alex the Cargirl Rosio, Hot Rod Bob Beck, plus Dar Hawthorne and Donnie Couch.
Welcome to the show, Speed Scene Live. We have got so much stuff tonight. We have got 10 pounds of stuff in a 5-pound bag. That's just the way I like it, though. My name is Lucky. I've got Diana Might over here.
Hey, welcome to Tuesday night.
I've got Bob Beck. Bob's going to be bringing us a bunch of stuff. More stuff. And I've got Bruce Barker. Bruce.
Brucey. Brucey, bang.
We got to talk fast because there's so much happening. Like this video right here. This is some footage of Stormy Bird. Here he is in the Revelation Dragster. You see off in the background there, you see Anna Octane. She's his backup girl. This is video from Eagle Fields Drags. And tonight we're going to talk to John Matajasic about this upcoming event.
We're also going to talk to the man behind the brand new Drag Racing Scene magazine, a new paper and online publication about sportsman drag racing. Media Person of the Year, John D. Bartomello. But I hope I got that right. He's going to tell us all about it.
And Kelly checks in from Canada to give us an update on the PTRA Racing Group. But most importantly, live in studio, Ron Fleming representing the upcoming Bug-In 40 at Fontana Raceway.
Nice. We're going to introduce Ron in just a sec. Next week, Donnie Couch and Dar Hawthorne with the Good Vibrations Nitro Report, broadcasting live from the studios of the West Coast Funny Car Factory. Love that Speed Scene Live sticker on Stormy Bird's car, by the way. Hey, Bob.
Yeah.
I hear you're looking for somebody that's a fan of your gas to do a segment on. Tell us more.
You bet. In June, we're going to have some special shows, and what we're looking for is an interesting sportsman racer, car builder, or just an automotive enthusiast that we can highlight. We're going to choose one lucky person per show for 2 of the shows in June. So if you want to get into that, you got to put a note on my Facebook page for GAS, GAAS, on Facebook. Put down a picture of your car, and you tell me why you should be on Speed Scene.
That's pretty sweet. So you're talking about you're essentially featuring.
Yes, right.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
So
cool deal.
giving somebody free PR, maybe giving their sponsors free PR. That'd be wonderful.
We could, yeah.
As they say in advertising, this show has a lot of eyeballs.
Yes.
There you go. There you go. What are you going to talk about tonight?
Well, tonight we're going to talk about some vintage gas. We're actually diesel. Well, some of it's gas. Antique trucks. And I went to a show down at the Paris the Paris Train Museum, and they had hundreds of restored antique big rigs, pickups, medium-duty trucks, you name it, and it was kind of neat. Fire trucks as well, and there was even an old bus from one of the national parks cruising around.
Nice.
So we're going to talk to Ken Lund from the organization that put that show on.
Nice. Well, let's bring our guests on tonight. We've got one of the most famous Volkswagen personalities in Southern California on the show tonight. Diana, why don't you do the honors and the introductions?
Well, thank you so much, Lucky. I'd like to introduce Ron Fleming. Ron, hey, welcome to Speed Scene Live.
Thank you very much. I'm so happy to be here on the Speed Scene Live show tonight. I'm here to talk about an exciting weekend for all you VW nuts out there. It's coming up May 15th through the 17th. It consists of a cruise night on Friday night in the historic Main Street Garden Grove district, put on by Der Kleiner Panzers, which is the oldest and longest existing Cal-Look VW club in Southern California. Very famous VW club, I might add. Followed Saturday by the reunion of the same club at Yorba Regional Park 50 years this club's been around, since 1965.
Wow.
It's a long storied career of VW guys. And then we're going to talk about Bug-In 40, and there's a lot to talk about that and all the different classes that we run. So,
And now Bug-In 40 is May 17th. That's going to be at the Auto Club Dragway, Fontana. If you need more information, you can go to bugin.com. It's got all the details. But, you know, this is a race it's more than a race, right, Ron? You got vendors and swap meet and all kinds of stuff.
we do indeed. There's a big car show, a swap meet, as Lucky just alluded to. It's one of the largest ones in Southern California. So if you're missing that special part for your VW, come on out and take a look. Meanwhile, we got some of the baddest players in VW drag racing. We run a class called Outlaw Turbo, and these guys ought to be outlaws the way they run. They're just crazy. They pour it on, and a good example on the screen now of Hector Urias and his bad machine. We miss Hector, and Roger Crawford there with his Carmen Ghia.
Hector was always a great competitor, and I wanted to put that clip in just to let people know that we still remember him and love him. And but there's all kinds of great racing going on. In fact, you mentioned the swap meet. Diana Mike found some parts for her Volkswagen at the swap meet.
That's
one
right.
time.
I found parts for, you know what, for my Type 3 notchback, and they're not easy to come by, but you know what? I had plenty of rows to walk through. It was great meeting all the people there. It was just a phenomenal experience. And, you know, if you're not going to race, go for the swap meet or go to watch the races. You'll have fun no matter what you do.
Yeah, and that car show, this people work real hard to shine those babies up and look as good as they do. We also are introducing a brand new class. It's actually an old class we're bringing back called the Renkafer Cup. And it's
What was that?
the Renkafer Cup. It's a street car, and it kind of answers the old saying, well, it really looks good, but how does it run?
Nice. Well, listen, let's hold on a second. We've got a caller, and speaking of people that like to talk about how they run, Diana Mike, why don't you reel that phone all the way from Canada down here?
I will. Let's go to line 1 and welcome Kelly Cooper. Kelly, welcome to Speed Scene Live.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, guys.
Sure.
Kelly, it's
It's been
great.
a long winter up here.
It's great to hear from you. You know, we've been battling it out with some severe winter down here as well, and had to actually wear a sweatshirt once, I think, during this winter.
That must have been rough.
We don't have to shovel smog, though.
Long sleeves?
We had 48 days above or below freezing
Ouch.
in a row. It was brutal.
Do you guys have wrinkle wall snow tires?
Yeah, they're called drag radials.
Now, Kelly, the PTRA, the Pro Tree Racing Association, you're getting ready to have your first event of the season. Tell us a little bit about where and when that is.
Our first event of the season is going to be May 15th, 16th, and 17th, and that'll always be at St. Thomas Raceway Park. It's the only track we race at. Again, our goal is to support that racing community. So we're going to be there. We've got a whole bunch of new things going on this year. We've added a couple classes, a pro stick comp class, which is just for clutch shifted stick cars with a 500 Pro Tree. We're introducing a junior dragster class with a 500 Pro Tree, giving away some cool trophies and red shirts to all these classes.
Nice. And
Our
now,
other races, we don't have a big schedule this year. We've got July 3rd and 4th. We're going to team up with RPM Magazine, which we're really looking forward to, with a race called the War in the North series. And for that race, we've introduced a new Class 2 called the Sinister 16. It's basically on a quick 16 program, but we're changing it up a little with a 500 Pro Tree, and you're allowed to run a delay box.
wow.
So the money there, we've got a lot of great sponsors for that race. eShine.ca's come on board, and they're putting up like $4,500 for that one-day race for the Sinister 16.
That's pretty good. What are some of the other sponsors?
Our other sponsors, we got a plethora of sponsors this year. Performance Unlimited, Silverbird Towing, Chase Insulation, Boomer and Deb Duquette, Klotz and Rhinotech, Cheapside Auto London Rustcheck, Westside Performance, Bears Performance, Western Overhead Door, eShine.ca, I already mentioned them,
Wow.
Boss Racing, Brian Swick Family Racing, Dragon Den Photography, Meisner Motorsports, CT Collision, Extreme Transmission, Fat Dog, Canada Steel, SistersInSpeed.com, Nerd Pickle, Diana's favorite.
Nerd pickle.
Good old nerd pickle.
He's the one who's responsible for all those cool posters I sent you. I know it was kind of short notice on getting those to you.
Now, let me ask you this, Kelly. It seemed like you had. Are there a couple fewer events this season, or is it the same?
We're only
amount?
we have one more too. I forgot to mention. It's called our PTRA Fall of Champions. It'll be September 11th, 12th, and 13th. Yeah, we've got 3 weekends. Just the reason being, just a limited schedule this year, just the way it worked out in scheduling our races at the tracks. Like, the tracks are becoming very popular, and it's hard to fit them all in.
Is there any chance that maybe the PTRA may end up going to a couple other tracks and trying them out, or are you going to stay right where you are?
We're going to try to stay right where we are to support our original intention, but we're open to anything. It all depends on how much racer support we get this year to make a decision on the future.
Do what the racers tell you they want, right?
Exactly. You got that right.
Let's hear that website for people to get some more info.
Protree.ca. Another cool thing that I forgot to mention, is that we've teamed up with local grudge racers. There's an organization that's new to Sparta called the Sparta Small Tire Shootout, and we will be hosting at our spring shootout and our Fall of Champions. They will be bringing their Grudgement Days, so there'll be no-time grudge racing alongside with the PTRA.
Nice.
They'll also be at the War of the North race too with their small tire shootout. And these guys they got a limited rule set, small tires, stock suspension. Really cool idea on racing where it's no qualifying, instant green, and they pull your names out of a hat.
Wow.
And so it's anybody could win, right? Like, they're putting up, I think, $2,500 to win their Street King class, and for their Outlaw class, it's like $3,500 to win. This War in the North is going to be one of the best street-style races in Canada this summer for sure.
Well, Kelly, let's hear that website one more time.
Protree.ca.
Kelly, thanks so much for calling, and let's have you come back in on another day when we got some more time, okay?
Oh, that sounds fantastic. Lucky, thanks, everybody. It's a pleasure talking to you again.
You got it. That's Kelly from the PTRA, the premier bracket racing association in Canada. And Ron, I know you've done a lot of racing all over. Have you ever had the chance to go up north to Canada?
I've been up to Mission Raceways. I've never been to this track he's talking about. Looked like an 8th-mile track.
I think
Yes,
so.
it is.
We're always trying to find, because in California it's tough to get a 1/4-mile track, so we're looking for something else to race, and Mission was a fantastic place to race.
Well, they've got all winter long to get sponsors, and it looks like he got on the ball because he got a ton of them.
Well, speaking of sponsors, Ron, who's some of the companies that's helping out the Bug-In 40 at Auto Club Dragway Fontana?
The major sponsor is Cooltech Motorworks. They've really gone way beyond the norm to sponsor this whole event. They sponsor Renkafer Cup that we talked about briefly, and they are the big sponsor for the event. But we have Impy and TOA and Rancho Performance Transmissions and Wolfsburg West, TMI, Volkswagen of Orange, Hot VW's Magazine, Jeanberg Enterprises, Stick Quick, I'm not sure what they do, LAT, Paradise Parts, Cool Ride, CB Performance, and all these people are in the Volkswagen industry. You can see their logos, and there's always attachments on bugin.com to take you to them, and we really appreciate that you take your VW business to them. They really help the sport and the hobby.
And now, you're a racer yourself. I know you got a car, but you don't always get to race these events because you're actually running the events. So sometimes your car's there, sometimes somebody else drives it, sometimes you just leave it parked so you can work. But don't you have some people that sponsor your race car as well?
I do, and thanks for asking. Some of these same fine people I'm real fortunate to have on my car. Cooltech Motorworks, Rancho Transmissions, who... they have been with me from the very beginning, and that's a long time ago. We won't talk about when that was, but they do a really great job for me. Roger Crawford at Heads Up, Impy, CB, all these people help me in various ways with different parts, and I really thank them because without them, I don't get to do this. So
now, this is one of my favorite cars, and
John Schweers.
I think this car's been sold, and it might even be in Canada for all I know.
No, it's actually in a new wrap. It's a Jägermeister car now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it used to be the Nightmare car, and now it's the Jägermeister car. John Schweers also happens to be one of the fine Yorba Lindens.
Oh, wow. I love this car because it's really fast. It's so low and looks so cool. And of course, being a fan of the notchback, the Type 3 notchback, there's just something about that just with a set of wheelie bars.
It's fantastic. John Schweers has just recently ran an 882 in that car. So, as much as I think he's a great guy, I think the man is crazy.
Wow. And all out of 4-cylinder air-cooled motors.
Yep. We pretty much 4-cylinder air cools. There's an exception. There are some water cools, which really brings me to another subject about the buggy and dear to my heart, and that's powder puff. Mm-hmm. We have some of the loveliest and fastest ladies in a beautiful class that Susie Herbert has worked so hard to develop. At the last event, 27 women competing. And by the way, gentlemen, our largest class. The ladies.
Oh. That's not very nice. Women do not like you to cap on their weight, Ron. So
you should never use lady and big in the same sentence.
Most popular.
Well, yes, I get it. I'm actually, and by the way, I am looking for a girl to back up my race car.
Oh, yeah. How far back?
I hear Bob looks really good in hot pants.
No, I got pictures of Stormy.
Oh, yeah, Stormy Bird has done the backup duty before, and thank goodness I've never had to look at that.
No.
But now
we have seen him in a ballerina costume one time, I do recall.
Yeah, Now, this event is May 17th. It's at Auto Club Dragway, Fontana. So
it's a return for us to Fontana.
It's right off the freeway. It's really easy to get to. Bruce, let's take a commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to talk more about the Bug-In 40. We're also going to talk about Drag Racing Scene magazine. We've got a brand new magazine that's coming out. We're going to talk to the editor and find out a little bit more about this great new publication.
I'm Robert Height, driver of the Auto Club Ford Mustang Funny Car, and you're watching Speed Scene Live.
At Aeromotive, we believe that performance means reliability, longevity, and durability. Being the best is no secret. By utilizing aerospace processes, procedures, technology, in-house engineering, true applications knowledge, and 3 generations of track experience, it's easy to see why we're the best. We take great pride in the fact that everything we sell, we design and make in the USA. See our entire line of fuel pumps and related products by logging on to aeromotiveinc.com. Aeromotive. We know it, we race it, we live it.
M&H Tires, makers of racing tires that give you the best bite for the buck. You've paid a lot for that horsepower. Make sure you use it all. M&H Tires has the best compounds available for maximum traction. Go to mandhtires.com. That's mandhtires.com. Buy direct and save at the website and mention the Speed Scene for a 5% discount. That's right, mandhtires.com. Call them at 661-324-4773. M&H Tires has tech guys ready to answer your questions or to recommend the best tire for you, slicks or DOT. M&H Tires has it all. M&H were the first to create racing tires for muscle cars and also the first to create racing tires for sport compact cars. Legendary M&H Tires. Shop online. Mention the Speed Scene and save 5%. Get the best racing tires, great personal service, and save 5%. Go to mandhtires.com or call them at 661-324-4773. mandhtires.com.
Welcome back to Speed Scene Live, the #1 online drag racing TV show. Brought to you by Curry Rear Ends, M&H Tires, Hedman Hustler Headers, Aeromotive Fuel Systems, and TheFote.com.
Welcome back to Speed Scene Live. I'm Diana Might. We've got Scott Lucky Hudson.
Nice.
Bob Beck.
Hi, everybody.
Bruce Barker. And, of course, our VW man of the evening, Ron Fleming.
Hi there, all you VW nuts. Welcome back.
Yeah.
Ron, you go way back in the Volkswagen scene. I think I was told that you were credited for a lot of the innovations for the cowl look for the Volkswagens, where you remove the wind wing and you take all the emblems off, and you were kind of instrumental in that, and you just kind of have ridden this whole Volkswagen craze for decades.
I've had a lot of fun doing this. Basically, what we did was we took the VW and treated it like a lot of hot rods people did. We took the chrome trim off, we smoothed it out, we simplified the deal, we got rid of wind wings, which is something VW did originally because they never had wind wings, really, one-piece glass. I get a lot of credit for it. There were a lot of guys in the club with me that did the same styles and all that. I don't have any problem taking credit for stuff. It's been a really great ride. I go to Europe every 2 years for the European Bug-In, and we have a lot of fun with that. But really, my heart's right here at home with the VW drag racing scene and driving my little Chop Top 66 to the tune of about 996 and having a lot of fun doing it.
Now, Ron, were you involved with the Bug-Ins where they used to be at Orange County Raceway?
I was, to the extent that I really I participated back in those days. That was Vic Wilson's time period when he put them on. Rich Kimball, who then worked for Vic Wilson and helped along with it, he ended up taking them over, and he's the one that kind of drug me out of the driver's seat and onto the asphalt, which I really had a lot of joy doing. I enjoy hanging out in the lanes and helping make the event run. So it's been a lot of fun for me, although I'm a terrible spectator at a drag race.
I know the feeling.
Now, Volkswagen drag racing has had its ups and downs over the years, but right now it seems like it's more popular than ever. When I go to an event like yours, I see hundreds and hundreds of cars. I see lots of families and friends pitting together, racing together, having barbecues together. And it really seems like, you always hear people talk about the good old days of racing. It seems like the good old days of racing are right now for Volkswagens.
Yeah, we're really riding the crest right now. It's really funny because back in the day, we thought it might have been over into the 80s and stuff, but it has had a resurgence. And part of it is like I said, John Schweers and Eric Calabrese, Hector Urias, some of these guys that have taken it to the crazy wits end of the thing. Again, going 180-something miles an hour in a Volkswagen wheelbase. We thought only the dragster guys were crazy enough to do that. We had 2 VW dragsters at the last one that broke 200 miles an hour on a 4-cylinder motor.
I remember years ago when we used to race the street legals out at Pomona, and there would be a couple Volkswagens out there, and they were doing like crazy fast, and I'm like, how can they do that with a little 4-banger? Here I've got my V8, and they're beating me. So I was just amazed back then, and they've just gotten faster and more consistent throughout the years.
Well, let's talk some more about that because I've got a lot of intense technical questions to ask Ron concerning valve clearance and titanium parts. But before we do,
yes,
Hot Rod Bob, what are you going to talk about tonight?
Antique trucks, and we've got Ken Lund from the events coordinator for the American Truck Historical Society. Good evening, Ken. How you doing?
Oh, I'm fine. I'm here.
Yeah, that's a good sign.
That's good.
That's good. You had a great event down at the Paris Train Museum this weekend. Tell us a little bit about it, would you?
Well, the event, this is our 30th year to put on the event. We've only been at the Orange Empire Rail Museum for about 6 years. We've been doing this for 30 years and have had various locations. Probably our most exciting time of putting on a truck show was when we had one back in 2004 at California Speedway, which of course now is Auto Club Speedway, where we rented the entire speedway for 4 days and put on an outrageous event with about 1,000 trucks at that thing, and we were selling lap time, and some of these guys, as I say, probably still have a grin on themselves from doing almost 100 miles an hour on their old big rigs racing around the oval.
All right, now tell us a little bit about the club. You're part of a club that incorporated in 1971. What does it entail? What kind of trucks does it cover?
Initially, it was founded to preserve the history of trucks, the trucking industry, and the pioneers of trucking industry, some of the people that have been around and been in trucking forever. It's primarily, say, just to make some interest so the people are aware about the history of trucks. To be a display truck, we prefer them to be 25 years old and older, which is kind of scary that a 1990 is now a 25-year-old truck.
Oh, that's weird.
On screen
anyway,
right now, we got my best shot, though. I mean, the best view of me from behind.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
The cameo carrier makes you look better.
Let's see, I'm trying to think where I was going with that. But anyway, and our association is big rigs, pickups, fire engines, or military vehicles, just about anything you can think of that's a truck.
Now, we're showing yours on screen right now. Tell us a little bit about your, it's a GMC, isn't it?
Yes. It's a 53 GMC. My grandfather bought it new from a dealer here in San Bernardino. And he unfortunately passed away in about 1963. Well, the truck sat in storage for 3 years till I turned 16 back in 1966, and then that was my first car. Of course, it had been used as a farm truck for many years, and it had been repainted several colors, etc. Well, now it's back to the original color, and when I painted it, it looked like it needed some chrome and stuff like that. So.
Now, Ken, this is lucky, and I got to tell you, my first car ever, when I was 16, was a 1948 GMC pickup truck that I bought for $225, and it ran, and I drove it home, and that was my first forte into the world of hot rodding, that 48 GMC pickup truck.
How about
Well, I'm not sure if the other photo's up there, but now, as you can see, now I've got some vintage speed equipment on the old truck. Of course, it's now got a larger engine. It's got a 270 cubic inch engine instead of the original 228.
And a little hot rodding.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's running vintage Nixon intake and matching cast iron headers on that. Nixon, spelled Nicson. He was, I guess, an old local hot rodder guy out of L.A. Mostly hot rodding GMC engines, because before the overhead valve engines in 49, like for Olds and Cadillac and all that, the GMC was a preferred engine for drag racing. Had full oil pressure and was good for several hundred horsepower.
Punch them out to 301 cubic inches and go racing.
Yeah, well, that's what they did. In fact, one of the guys from Riverside currently has, I think it's a little 38 Chevy business coupe with the 302 engine punched out to 325, Hilborn fuel injection, reverse flow cooling, and it does 148 miles an hour at Bonneville.
Wow,
that's cruising. Now, you had some great trucks. You had a lot of big rigs, what we call an 18-wheeler, class 8 vehicles, and then you had a lot of what I would call medium duty, like the Dodge that we've got right in this picture right now. And a lot of people don't remember that Dodge and such had medium duty trucks, real trucks, not just pickup trucks and vans.
Let's see I'm not sure which photo you have. Is that the one that's kind of a forward control, sort of like the old...
cab over.
Like a V-dub pickup?
Yeah. Well, this is the
great phrase.
This is the big one. Yeah, it's the turquoise and white one that you use for the podium.
Yeah. And they used that the same cab on the pickup with a conventional hood, with the shorter hood and elevated as a cab over. And then they used that same cab as a Dodge Bighorn, which was the big rig. So, Dodge has been in everything from the small trucks to the really big rigs.
Now, what was the oldest truck that was at this event this weekend? Do you remember?
It was a 1911 Ford Model T.
Wow.
Dang, that's old.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and what makes our show interesting compared to some of the car shows, the truck guys, they'll bring 2, 3, 5, 10, 15 vehicles. At a street rod thing, somebody might bring a couple, but these guys are crazy, and they'll have trucks on trucks on trucks.
A lot of the times the trucks is no longer work rated. You know, it's outdated.
Correct.
They can't use it for work. It's not worth anything to sell, so they've kept them, and then they brought them back. And one of the old trucks that was there that still had solid rubber tires was from, what was it, is it the Dunkel Brothers?
Oh, yes, the one that was up on the flatbed,
Yeah.
yes. That of Dunkel Brothers Machinery Moving, which I think they're in La Mirada.
Santa Fe
Yes,
Springs.
Yeah, Santa Fe Springs, right off the 5 freeway.
Yeah. That was the truck that started Dunkel Brothers Machinery Moving. That was the Dunkel Brothers' grandfather's truck, and that's what started their business.
Yeah, it's amazing. They've got a huge facility. I love driving by it at Christmas time because it's all lit up, and they've got antique trucks and such all lit up and right there for everyone to see. Now, you put on the show every year. Is it going to be back at Paris Train Museum next year?
Yes, it will. As far as we know, that's our new permanent location. We enjoy it, and of course they enjoy having us too, but it's kind of a similar melding of technologies. Our trucks and their trains have evolved about the same way, and so it's they thoroughly enjoy having us there, and of course we enjoy being there. It's like having our own little small town all to ourselves.
Yeah, and the trains were actually operating. They had the trolleys going throughout the day, and then they had the old Union Pacific or Southern Pacific, I forget which, diesel locomotive pulling a couple of passenger cars.
That's cool.
Yeah. Well, and in November they do their Thomas the Tank Engine days, where they have a Thomas the Tank Engine pulling the train where people can go for a ride.
That's probably good for the
in
kids.
November, yeah.
How many trucks did you have show up this year? Do you know?
We had about 150, which normally to a truck, like a car show, that's almost nothing. That's just a few parking lot gatherings, like at Donut Derelicts probably has far more than that.
Yeah.
But as you could see because of the size of the vehicles, I mean, we completely filled that place. We were in every.
Yes, we were. Uh-oh. Looks like we lost Ken.
Filled all the nooks and crannies.
Yeah, well, here's some example of some of the trucks. Now, a lot of the big rigs don't change body style over the year. Maybe Ken will call back, but if you look at some of these date back to the 30s and 40s, and they were, big rigs were never big on styling, so some of the older trucks, the body stayed in production for 20, 30 years.
Well, back then, a truck was a tool.
It was a work truck, yeah.
You didn't buy a new truck every 3 years. You bought a truck.
You wore it out.
You drove it forever.
Yeah, and something like the green truck there on the side is probably gasoline powered. You got to remember, diesel wasn't a real popular form, and turbocharging didn't exist. GMC started doing the blowers on them and getting more horsepower. That's where the 671s came that people use on hot rods because they learned that technology. But some of these big rigs, the technology, they still use drum brakes through the 80s. Welcome back, Ken.
Yep, I don't know. Maybe I went through a tunnel and didn't know it.
You might have. Yeah, we were talking about some of the big rigs that we're showing now and how the body styles really didn't change. So although we look at them and say, well, it's a current technology truck, it may have been from the 40s.
Right. Well, and they were running turbocharger over supercharger to get the power out of those old trucks.
There you go, Ron. Yeah. There's an idea for your next Volkswagen.
There you go. Yeah. And I was talking to the general who had the truck parked alongside mine. That was an old tow truck, and he said at one point in time they had here's a medium duty, what I'd call a medium duty truck. Tow truck, and he had a flathead International 6-cylinder in it, gas power, not even diesel. And
that's what it was back then. That was a 1948 Mack that was next to you. Of course, to us, it's a street rod because he's running a modern Cummins 4-cylinder turbocharged diesel in that now.
Right, yeah, and one of the reasons he parked alongside, he's got the original lettering on that. That was an old AAA service vehicle from Bell's Towing Service.
Wow. Yeah, in Highland, California.
Yeah, and that's the original paint and rust that came with it when it was built. No.
That's patina in the Volkswagen world.
Yeah, and he was talking about it. He says, he's not going to change that. I had the Cameo with me this time, a little 283 powered 57 Cameo. There were only 2,000 of those, about a little over 2,000 of those built back in 1957.
I saw that at the Edelbrock Car Show, and
I brought it out there
man,
too.
That's a beautiful truck. Whoever restored that did a fantastic job.
Did a
Greg,
job.
the guy that drove me here tonight, has a Cameo.
Oh,
no kidding, huh? Man, I've always loved those, but never could afford them.
Yeah, that's it. Now they're up there, way up there in price.
Yeah.
And there was another one parked on the other side of that tow truck.
You know, it was actually cheaper to buy the Funk Band Cameo than it was to buy an actual Cameo truck.
So, Ken, tell me something. What does it take to join your club?
Well, just somebody who's interested in the trucks. You don't even have to really own a truck. Just have an interest in the trucking. Like most of the organizations, they require you to be a member of the national as well as the local chapter. So if you were to if you're interested in American Truck Historical Society, their website is aths.org, and that will take you to the website, and it has lots of information about membership, etc. And I think it's $45 to be a member of the national. And the local chapter, it's only $20 to be a member of the local chapter. And our website is southernca.aths.org. So it's southernca.aths.org, and that'll get to our local website. It's under construction. We've only had it for just a few months, so we're building it. But anyway, be patient. But it does have quite a photo gallery of some of our past events that we've taken things to.
And some great trucks. And when's next show again?
It's always the first Sunday in May.
First Sunday in May.
I'm not sure. Will that be May 5th or May 3rd? I can't remember how the calendar moves forward or back.
That keeps changing.
That would be May 3rd, but I guess next year it'll be a different story.
Yeah, so we'll see. I guess these are some shots from Fontana when you had the big event there.
Could be.
And buses and big rigs.
Look at Stater Brothers.
Trucks, yeah, look at these trucks. That's the great thing about it.
That was the promotional video before our 2004 convention. So you've probably got some. You might even see a red Auto Club hot rod tow truck raced by at some point.
Yeah, that was out there. I was not part of that for AAA at the time, but I was part of it for General Motors.
Nice, some cool trucks.
Dang, those are.
Those are neat. I love the bus, though.
Yeah, me too.
That's a great name.
All right. Hey, Ken, thank you very much for calling in. And, we'll keep you in mind for next year before your show. We'll try and get you back on Speed Scene and talk about it and get some more people out there, although it was pretty crowded out there this last weekend.
It's amazing. It is one of their most popular gated events. Of course, not as popular as Thomas the Tank Engine, but nevertheless, it is. The people that know about it and they thoroughly enjoy it.
All right, Ken. Thank you very much for calling in. Ken Lund with the Southern California chapter of ATHS. Thank you very much for calling in, and thanks for having us out there at the show this last weekend.
Oh, all right, and thank you for bringing the truck out, and it was great meeting you.
All right, see you then.
Now, you know what? Let's go from old trucks to old tracks.
The old announcer.
Or old drag racers, because every once in a while, Eagle Field Drags has this great event. They go old school. They've got the flag starter, and it's like going back in a little time capsule of drag racing, and all the cars are sort of the old style, and you see a lot of the dragsters and a lot of the weird vehicles that sort of was the evolution of drag racing. Diana, why don't you bring our guest on and let's start talking about Eagle Fields.
Well, let's go to line 2, and we're going to welcome John Matajasic. He told me I could call him John Magic. Welcome to Speed Scene Live.
Oh, the Magic Man.
John, welcome to the show.
Yeah, Bob knows about how magic I am. It means I go for 5 o'clock in the morning and make it to the track on.
He can make a burger disappear in no time.
Wasn't there a guy in the Jay Giles band that had that magic nickname?
I think so, but they didn't spell it like me.
Now, John...
And when I'm teaching school, I'm Mr. Magic every day.
Magic.
So
there you go. Now, May 15th to 17th, 3 days of nostalgia drag racing.
A busy weekend.
Actually, Lucky, we call it True-stalgia.
True-stalgia, okay. Because it's
although we just spent a lot of money on buying a timing system for Saturday.
A timing system?
Friday night, May the 15th, we're going to start out under the lights with the Bulletproof 1964 and earlier flag start racing from 5 to 10 p.m. under the lights. And Jeff Atamian and the Beast Dragster will make a pass in the dark.
Nice.
Friday night.
Look, here's
Thomas.
the Thomas Dart.
Yeah.
Hey, I love that flagman concept, even though I really haven't actually tried that myself yet. I like the idea because it's so old.
Well, on top of it, Saturday, we're flag starting on Friday. We flag start on Saturday. Saturday is the 6th annual Fresno Drag Racing Reunion. And we've got special guests, Richard Height and Les Gomes and his Ham Dragster. We have a side-by-side cackle between Bobby Hansen and the Wind Spoiler, Top Fueler and Andy Hemmick's Imposter. They're going to go down a track side by side. They'll also cackle Saturday night before the party, the hangar party and dinner that'll take us to Sunday. Our good buddy Jeff Taman's going to be back. Stormy Bird, Randy Winkle, Lori Peterson, and Rocky's Evil Twin, the side-by-side twin 350 Chevys, will run. Lori Peterson in her Potvin Blower Special. That's going to be a side-by-side feature on Saturday along with everybody else. And General Jerry Lee has brought 2 wheel standers that used to run at the old Fresno Raisin City drag strip, and he's going to run the 2 wheel standers on Saturday. And Saturday's action will include gassers that you've never seen on the West Coast because our friends from Oregon are starting to come down to Eagle Field.
Oh, that's great.
So, John, where we guarantee the traction of a parking lot.
John, Ron Fleming here, the VW Nut guy. Is this true old school? You don't glue the track down or nothing?
Coke syrup, no VHC.
Wow. And I'm seeing no water.
We guarantee you the traction of a parking lot. and
I don't see
and nothing more.
I don't see any guardrails. Is that really how you run it?
There is cement now. There's cement rail on both sides because it's grown so big that we have to put spectators on both sides. You're coming, Lucky, aren't you?
I'm coming on up, and I'm looking forward to it. And it seems like
we got off-roading.
He's glad there's no rail there.
Yeah.
We just saw something.
Oh, well, you may be picking up old video from our good friends at QuarterMileProductions.net, who will be live streaming Friday night, Saturday, and Sunday.
Nice.
So we've got viewers all over the world. Those crazy Australians tune in. We've had an international crowd to come. It's certainly not a March meet, and it's no hot rod reunion.
No, it's bad.
But it's a motorhead happening in the middle of nowhere.
And it run what you brung.
Yeah, and it keeps getting bigger, John, doesn't it?
Well, yeah. I mean, we'll have 300 to 350 cars run what you brung plus the features. We've got on Sunday, it's the Lions, and it's not Lions Drag Strip, it's the Lions Club of Dos Palos that sponsors the drag race on Sunday, and it's all vehicle, all years, heads up, quick 8 door slammers, and our True Gas SX shootout, which last year we got some 18 different gassers and FX to come out to Eagle Field. And one of the reasons, guys, it's an 8th mile, so we have full-on tech. Our promoter, Rocky Phillips, is a true drag racer and multiple champion with ANRA and as a member of 1320 and all that good stuff. And so we've got tech, but because it's only an 8th mile, we can run a 3-bar car. It's not quite as strict in tech, but everybody gets tech, and it is the ultimate in run what you brung.
Now, John, what website can people go to get more info or to watch the live streaming?
Well, EagleDrags.com for more info, and the link for QuarterMileProductions.net will be there. Or if you go to live stream and find QuarterMileProductions.net. Larry Luna told me that's the best way to get to them.
Okay.
Either way, I recommend you probably, just bookmark QuarterMileProductions.net because they bring you all the ANRA races and they bring everything from Eagle Field. So there's a lot of different stuff that you get on QuarterMileProductions.net than you get other places. EagleFieldDrags.com. They'll get you all the stuff.
Now I got to ask about the backup girls because I know Stormy Bird, his trademark is he always has the prettiest, the nicest backup girls. But I got to imagine there must be other backup girls up there.
Oh yeah, we got. Well, actually, a month later, when we have the fly-in, we've got pinup girls that are there for for the fly-in because it's all a world. We have reenactments. We had a B-24. It's good. Eagle Field was a training field during World War II. And Joe ended up buying it, I think, in 1979, and it's been coming back. And the Eagle Field event, I mean, Bob, they built me a tower.
No more?
I know that sounds like something out of the Bible.
Oh, yeah.
But I have an announce tower that they drag out to the field. It's deluxe.
You're no longer standing there with the hay bales around you, right?
No more hay bales. No.
Bob said you stood on a wooden crate like a soapbox, and you had a megaphone. That's not how you do it anymore?
Well, Bob knows I don't need a megaphone.
No, yeah. You know, we worked together
crate,
long enough.
I just get up and holler.
The only reason they had a PA for us is so the people at the finish line could hear us.
That was it.
You know, it's John. There seems to be such a cool flavor, such a cool style of these cars. We're looking at
Rockies.
We're looking at Rockies dragster right here, and you know these are cars that you don't see every day at every track.
Well, even Lori Peterson with the Potvin blower special, you know, it's that low. I mean, the Potvin blower is old technology, but she runs full on NE1 numbers. She runs in the 7s on a full quarter mile, and there is. I mean, we had the gentleman out. I'm trying to remember, but we have everything at Eagle Field because it'll pass tech and it can run. We've got some of the best people in the world. We basically have a drag race in search of a drag strip.
And you get a lot of participants that are involved in the ham board, the honky ass message board, right?
Oh, the ham guys all come out. One of our special guests, Les Gomes, is running a 6-cylinder Buick-powered 3-speed ham dragster. All the ham guys from ANRA Plus show up at Eagle Field because it's old school. And the best part is, when it comes to the flag start on Friday and Saturday, East Tall Chief, the flag starter from Fremont, is our starter.
Cool.
Wow. Now, is there a cutoff for years on this event? How old does your car have to be?
Friday, 64 and before. On Saturday, I do believe it's 73 and before. The actual shootout for the Quick 8 is a 73 or before, and then it's run what you brung, because we bought a new timing system specifically for Saturday. We're going to be experimenting to see if when we flag start, it can indicate who won, rather than having somebody old school on the other end waving the flag for the lane. We have improved things, but we have no intention of being. It would be ridiculous for us to say that we are a drag strip.
But we do have a timer. Is very reminiscent of the old black and white stuff from Santa Ana.
Yeah. To me, it's like watching a black and white movie that's been colorized.
Yeah, it's
and that's
it's
exactly
very cool.
That's exactly what Rocky
since
wants.
You have the truck guy, we've got a guy there with a 49 Ford pickup, and when he first came, it's got no window glass in it. It's got nothing. And I kind of went to Rocky and going, you can't run. And he goes, wait a minute, this is not an NHRA track. We can run that. The next year, a guy showed up with a 62 Impala with no glass and all this kind of stuff. And I said, that guy must be the other guy's brother.
Yeah.
He was.
He was.
They just don't believe in automotive glass. Things like that.
So you mean no windshield?
You will see things at Eagle Field you don't see anyplace else.
And there's good reason for that.
Well, and a lot of guys that are building cars that ended up with ANRA or going to the Hot Rod Reunion or going to the March Meet, actually, I've seen them develop through Eagle Field because they can come out and run the car with a little less tech, get some seat time in it, and then they've stepped up. Actually, the Nader Hater, the 350 Chevy Corvair that has run. Originally, it came down from Oregon and ran with us at Eagle Field.
Wow. Well, that sounds like a fun event. John, thanks so much. I look forward to being up there and being part of the excitement. And I can't wait to come back to the studio and tell everybody about my weekend at Eagle Field. So I'll see you up there.
You will. 15, 16, 17 of May. It is a hot rod motorhead happening. Come join us.
Thanks, John. There you go. 3 days of racing. You know, Ron, I know that's the same weekend as your event. You probably don't have time to make a bomber run up there, but wouldn't you love to take some of your old Volkswagens, some of the old oval windows?
I would love that. I would love to go out there and just let her rip and, between the lines and try to stay off the dirt there. It's a little rough if you take a little side trip there. I might want to run an air cleaner, but
a big air cleaner.
It looks like a lot of fun, and I'm really disappointed it's conflicting weekends. But anyway, I'm going to spend my weekend at the Bug-In 40. Cool Tech Motorworks is bringing you the finest in hot rod VW stuff, a car show, a swap meet, and if I could real quickly, I'd like to show everybody the brand new T-shirt design.
Yeah, let's check it out.
Instead of the old stuff that we always have where there's a bunch of stuff on the bottom, it's a race car with all the sponsors on the race car. So,
oh, nice.
Not only it's the first look at it, of course, you don't have to wear a piece of paper. You can buy a T-shirt at the event.
There you go.
Oh, that's even better.
Now, let me see that. Let me see that artist rendition. Now, this isn't anybody's car in particular, is it? This is sort of what they call an artist.
I'm glad you said artist. Ron Petro did the drawing. And
Ron did
Petro
a great job.
is real famous in the world of VW. He did the Bug-In poster. He's done lots of stuff for us. So
Ron, when you say Bug-In 40, does that mean this is the 40th annual Bug-In?
It is the 40th one. There was a time lapse between 33 or 34 in between there of about 7 or 8 years, so it's not concurrent. It's actually been about 48 years, but the 40th one.
Wow, that's phenomenal that this has been going strong, and this is the 40th annual.
Yeah,
I got to mention right here, though, I'm not sure if you did or not, but LAT Racing Oil, the same
people.
racing oil Dynamite and I use in our Novas, a great company sponsoring the Bug-Ins. And, I know
they work in Volkswagens, too. I run a little LAT in mine.
Well, Volkswagen air-cooled oil's very important.
Oh, it is very important. And we have to run that really heavy-duty 0.5 weight.
Ooh. Oh, do you really?
I do. 0.5 weight.
5?
0.5
wow.
weight.
Oh, your tolerances are that close, huh?
When I drain the break-in oil, the heavy 30 weight out, I pick up 7 to 8 horsepower on my motor with 0.5 weight.
Man.
Wow,
so
that's
us old drag racers, I'm not going to shy away from that. We look at everything real often.
Yeah.
Now you've got this event going on, and you talked about everything happening, but the Friday before, isn't there a cruise down
There is a cruise
somewhere?
night in the historic Main Street district of old, if you're an Orange County guy, Garden Grove, the lovely garden city of Garden Grove. And it's kind of a neat strip of old Main Street, and the buildings there maintain the architecture and the look from, the 30s and 40s. And
Is that where the old theater is, that they have the plays and so forth? Yeah, great old town area.
It's a good area, and we pack it with Volkswagens. We do it a couple of times a year, and so anybody's invited. If you're a Volkswagen nut of any type or any sort, come on out and spend the evening with us, and we'll talk and tell tall stories and tell how fast we used to was.
Man, that sounds great. Hey, Bruce, I know we've got one more commercial break. Let's get that out of the way, and when we come back, we'll finish up the show with Ron Fleming and the Bug-In 40 at Auto Club Dragway, Fontana, and that's coming up May 17th.
Hi, this is Snakebite from Canada, proud supporter of the PTRA, and when I'm not blowing up rear ends, I'm watching Speed Scene Live. You watch it too.
Take your vehicle's racing performance to an all-new level with a custom racing engine from Paul Williams Specialties. Put PWS's 30-plus years of experience to work on your race car, muscle car, any type of high-performance engine. PWS can build your winning combination from scratch or refresh and improve your current engine. Working on a project? Don't waste money through trial and error. Consult with Paul Williams first. Rev up your performance with Paul Williams Specialties, helping championship-level drivers become champions through better performance and reliability.
For over half a century, Currie rear-end components have been twisting out the torque and taking the punishment. And the new Currie lineup is stronger than ever. Some of the world's most capable, hardest-working vehicles depend on Curry gears, which is why you can too. Street cars, hot rods and resto rods, drag cars, rock-crawling four-wheel drive vehicles, whatever you're piloting, Curry expertise and rock-solid design means the parts will do their job, so you can do yours. Check out Curry's custom rear ends, featuring a full line of upgrades, components, and installation options. The Curry Crate Rear Ends lineup offers ultra-strong construction on third members and carrier assemblies. And other underside parts, like correct link steering systems, keep your four-wheeler pointed where you want it. Add in a wide variety of solid, purpose-built suspension and brake components, and you've got one tough, ready-to-go machine. Grab a hold of a Curry rear end. Talk to the experts at 714-367-2679 or view the complete line online at curryenterprises.com.
Everyone in the armed forces that has served to defend our great country and our freedom, all of us here in the United States of America would like to offer our sincere appreciation for all that you do and all that you've done. To every family that has made a sacrifice for us, we thank you.
60 years. That's a long time for a company to do any one thing. Doing it right while sticking to your founding values. Now that takes hard work and dedication. For 60 years, Hedman's all-American workforce has been devoted to manufacturing the very best headers any team of craftsmen can build. That's 60 years of cutting, 60 years of bending, 60 years of welding, more than 2 million in all, and every set made right here at home. At Hedman Headers, we build all-American horsepower, then back it up for life. Hedman Headers, made in the USA.
Hi, I'm Hot Rod Holly, and I get gas with Hot Rod Bob every Tuesday night on Speed Scene Live.
Welcome back to Speed Scene Live, the #1 online drag racing TV show. Brought to you by Curry Rear Ends, M&H Tires, Hedman Hustler Headers, Aeromotive Fuel Systems, and TheFoat.com.
It's another Tuesday night at Speed Scene Live with us, as always, the lovely Diana Mites.
Welcome.
And right alongside, keeping guard, is Lucky.
Let's get this show going, Bob.
And working the board, keeping us all in line and in focus, is Bruce Barker.
Well, line, I don't know about focus. I don't know how to work that part.
Yeah, not that part. Okay.
Trying at least.
Trying.
And
I'll do my best, lass.
Yes, and our special guest, of course, Ron Fleming with the Bug-In 40.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here and wishing I could get gassed like that, like Hot Rod Bob does.
Yes, I've got gas every Tuesday night here on Speed Scene Live.
Hey, we forgot to wish everybody happy Cinco de Mayo out there.
Yeah.
We know you guys are all toasting margaritas, and we're pretty dry here in studio. So
you are.
We don't have the Donnie Couch margarita mixer with us. Maybe next week.
Yeah,
Donnie
maybe
and Dar will
next
have
week.
that, but not today.
Now, Ron, you were talking about the car show down on Main Street, but there is actually a car show at the Bug-In 40 at the Auto Club Fontana as well.
That's correct. That's one of the biggest parts of the Bug-In. In truth, I like to talk about the drag racers because I'm one, but the guys that work so hard, and gals, on their cars to show them have all the pride and joy that any other car enthusiast does. And we made a big change this year. We've moved the car show behind the grandstands. We make the drag racers move further to the top end. They always like to be down the big end anyway. So as they tow up, they tow by the car show. It brings the whole VW family together, and Everybody kind of enjoys it. And if you're sitting in the grandstands, you can slide back and look at the car show and slide on up in the grandstands and wait for your famous favorite hot rod guy. That's a Friedland right
That's
there.
Friedland. That's what I thought.
Yep.
Those are
Wow.
cool.
Yeah.
We saw one of those one time, and we were wondering what it was.
German postal vehicle powered by VW.
That is neat.
That yellow one there is kind of a hot rod one.
Yeah, they both look cool. I mean, and now you've got a show of well, I don't know. It's a show. Look at the pictures. You got an old ragtop.
I do. I have a little street ride I call Sunny. It's a 60 ragtop bug. I'm a member of DKP, Der Kleiner Panzers, which is means the little tanks, and we're celebrating 50 years of being VW nuts. And that little thing has a little secret in the back end. It has 180 horse on the street, and it's surprised a lot of people. We have a little fun with it. You know, all in keeping with the local laws. And
Of course. Now, how many of the original people like yourself are in the club?
There are still about, I'm going to say, a dozen that are currently having cars again. There are a lot of them still around, but I hate to use this old cliche, but a lot of us have been bitten by the bug again.
Yeah, well, you know, guys have careers and wives and kids and
Raising
families, and
yep.
you know, they get away
Priorities,
from
Lucky, priorities.
priorities,
Yeah.
which you know, I'm so sorry to hear that their priorities out of the line. But luckily, they come back
They
and they
do.
get a car.
I tell people I had a lot of nice cars in my day, but I always had to sell this one to get the next one. So now I'm a collector.
You know, I love those old Carmen Gias, but I hear that it's so hard to get parts for them.
It's getting harder and harder to get parts.
We were
for
told
'em.
if you buy one, make sure it's complete because you'll never be able to find the parts for it.
Yep. There's a lot of aftermarket stuff being made, but it's getting more difficult.
I would assume too. You're talking about the original body style, the ones with the different headlights and stuff.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, they just look awesome. There used to be a guy running one in Sport Compact that had it all just full really fast, and it just had such a cool look to it. But, you know, I like that old look, like the two-tone and the original steering wheel.
White wall tires.
Yeah, I like all that stuff. To me, it just makes them look more fun.
Classic, Lucky. Yeah.
Yep.
And now you guys are at Fontana, and this will probably be your new home because I understand that, you know, Irwindale's going to be closing down shortly. How does the Bug-In people feel about being at Fontana?
Everybody's pleased. We've had great talks in coming back to Fontana. I'd like to give a shout out to Bob Klein and Irwindale, who's been our home for a lot of years, and we'll finish this year in October with the Hot VW's Drag Day, and I'd like to thank him for all his kindness and stuff, and we're going to go to Fontana next year for all three events.
Well, Fontana's a great track, and we love the people there at Fontana, and we're very unhappy about the demise of Irwindale, but you never know because it ain't over till the fat lady sings.
Right.
You know, and now bugin.com, Bugin.
Bugin.com, that's right. Get all the information you want from the website.
And they can register online or they can show up the day of the
They
event,
can show up the day of the event. Most people do that. They get their information and then they just come because we have plenty of time in the morning to get the car show set up. I want you drag racers there bright and early, guys.
We got a drag race. We got a car show. You got a vendor area. You got a swap meet.
Yeah.
I'm sure there'll be some food there for people to buy.
That's right.
Everyone's going to have a great time. It's like a giant Southern California party. And if you're anywhere near the area, put it on your calendar because you don't want to miss it. If you don't have a Volkswagen, come on out. Be a spectator. Enjoy
There'll be some
the
for
day.
sale.
Yes.
There might be one that wants to follow you home.
That's right.
Well, Ron, thanks so much for coming in today and talking to us about the Bug-In 40 at Fontana. And you know what? Another great event. You guys always do such a great job. I've been to many of them. I've always had a great time. And, you know, Volkswagen racing and the whole culture is getting bigger and bigger every year.
We thank you very much for having us and appreciate the opportunity to talk about it.
Great. Well, we're at the top of the hour. I do want to send out special well wishes to our dear friend, Papa Joe. Papa Joe, get better. We all love you here at Speed Scene Live.
That is the truth. Well, we are out of time for this broadcast, but of course, coming up is the encore presentation, right, Lucky?
And next week, Donnie and Dar will be here with the Good Vibrations Nitro Report from the West Coast Funny Car Factory. They've got J.R. Todd as a special guest. You can actually help J.R. Todd design his new crew shirts Donnie and Dar will tell you how. Plus much, much more. Tune in next week for the West Coast Funny Car Factory Good Vibrations Nitro Report.
Nice. For Hot Rod Bob Beck and Lucky Hudson and Diana Might and Ron Fleming, our special guest tonight, I'm Bruce Barker. Thanks for joining us. We're back next week right here.
Speed Scene Live TV, the #1 online motorsports TV show. Brought to you by Curry Racing Rear Ends, M&H Tires, Hedman Hustler Headers, Aeromotive Fuel Systems, and theFote.com.